How you doing, everybody? It's Tuesday, March the 9th, 2010, and it's about 9:30 in the morning. It's a beautiful morning in Ireland. It's beautiful spring sunshine, cold but very beautiful. I was going to do a lot of things today, and I decided not to because I read a report this morning in the newspaper. I got upset about it, so I want to deal with that immediately. And then I want to just deal with a general situation. Now, the report that's in the newspaper and the thing that I'm going to deal with later, they're not directly connected. One is a social stroke religious matter, and then the other thing is an economic matter. But they are both about states of mind, and it's basically down to denial. All right. And denial is a terrible thing. It's like greed. It's a terrible thing. It eats away at you. It eats away at you. And the first thing's about a man. His name is Bill Carney. He's a priest. And there's two articles relating to him, all right, done in the Independent this morning. And the first article is by a woman from the BBC's Panorama. I think it's a woman. I think her name is Olenka Frankel, okay? And it tells you, the article reads, a priest abuser left a trail of destruction and suicides. And what it's about is, it's about corruption. That's what it's about. You see, the Paddies have a funny thing. The Paddies have a funny attitude, and a lot of people do in the world. That, you know, because you do something like a rape, or because you physically abuse someone, and the physical aspect of what you do after a short period of time is gone. There's no marks, there's no baby or anything like that. It's not like you rape a woman and you get her pregnant or something. There's none of that. Okay, so the crime is committed, and then after a period the crime is gone as far as society is concerned. But the crime isn't gone. The crime is inside here. The crime is maturing like a cancer. And we see it here with this man. Now, this man, in the Murphy report, seemingly was one of the biggest paedophile abusers in North County Dublin. Somewhere up near Howth, he operated out of. And this is a while back, and this is in 20 years ago, more. It doesn't matter. Several of the people, these young boys that he raped and abused, several of them have committed suicide. You have to read these articles. I mean, this is horrendous stuff. This is truly horrendous stuff. And another thing that I cannot understand, I really cannot understand, but you see I do, because it's a deep psychological sort of stroke psychosis type outcome of these things. Not only are these people defiled and corrupted and all that by these paedophile priests, they're actually subjugated. I see these people, and these people are, you see them on television and you see them speaking, and they're just so scarred and deeply marked as human beings. They're actually broken human beings. They're actually broken. What they should be doing is the reality of what they should be doing is they should not be dependent on the law, and it's certainly not in Ireland anyway, to be defending their rights. They should be out demanding their rights primarily and getting their rights by whatever means are available. But they're not able to do that. Because as I say, they're all broken, they're crushed. And the proof of that is they're not able to do the obvious thing, which is to face and deal with their abuser. And I mean really deal with them. They're not able to do that, you see. They should be. But they've been compromised and crushed and broken, as I say. So what they do, they destroy themselves rather than destroy the abuser. That's what morals and ethics would dictate. That's what you do. No. They destroy themselves. I tell you, you have to read this. This is a massive insight into man's inhumanity. And it's at the core of our society here in Ireland, anyway, that I see. And it brings me on to the second matter. Yeah, apologies about that. I had to stop that there. I was getting far too emotional there about that. So just that little piece. I want to continue on. I want to talk about another sort of form of denial that was it's in operation in Ireland, and it's a denial about the whole responsibility for the debacle that we're in. And up until now, the whole thing rested with, as I say, these property developers and bankers, and they got a fair lashing and all the rest of it. But the political thing was in the background. The political masters were in the background and tended to be left very much alone. And now I see all that starting to change. And I've put up a major article out of the Sunday Independent. I think it gives you a great insight into how things have changed. The guy who wrote it is one of the leading economists from the Sunday Independent. He's a fellow called Daniel McConnell. I think he's one of their chief reporters on the economic level. And every single article that was in this paper on Sunday, every single economic article was condemning NAMA, talking about its shortcomings, and talking about the irresponsible behaviour of the state. Because I think eventually the penny is starting to drop. The denial business is starting to be finally eaten away at with some of these fellas that write these articles, these economists. And they see, first of all, their jobs are being threatened. And I think they see the general malaise within the country is set to run and run and run. This is not going to go away tomorrow. This is not going to go away next year. This is not going to go away in 5 years' time. This is here to stay for a long, long time. Our national debt at the end of this year will be 150 billion euros. Our GDP is projected to be 168 billion. That'll give you an idea where we're coming from. This whole NAMA thing is a disaster waiting to happen. It hasn't happened yet, but when it is, at the end of this year, it will have taken place. The monies will have been transferred, the bonds will have been transferred from the European Central Bank to our government and our banks, and the property developers will have been left off the hook, as will have the banks to a certain extent. But any damages done to the banks, we'll have to bolster them up no matter what happens. And as I said before, we are going to end up owning them. But the bottom line about it is, at the end of the day, I want you to read this article if you get a chance. That's it up there. And it tells you about NAMA, and they call it the 90 billion double or quits gamble. And the heading of his article is, Brian Lenihan's NAMA plan may save the banks, but it is wrecking our country, writes Daniel McConnell. As I say, the penny is starting to drop. Eventually. Let's see what happens when we get to the end of this year, beginning of next year. Let's see what happens by then. Okay, bye.